We're live now. Okay. Hey, welcome everyone. And thank you for joining us for this momentous occasion. I am Kevin Newell, founder and CEO of Real Capital Group, and also have the privilege of serving as a co-chair for the ThriveOn Collaboration alongside my friends and colleagues, Mr. Greg Wesley from the Medical College of Wisconsin, who serves under the leadership of Dr. John Raymond, and Ken Robertson from the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, who serves under the leadership of Mrs. Ellen Gilligan. So without taking too much time on the front end, we're going to jump right into it and kind of acknowledge the fact that we did a thing, as we like to say. We bought a building. We bought an historic building. We bought a historic building on King Drive that is now owned by a African-American owned firm, which then allows us to say that we are in a certain company where we have a community that has an MLK Drive and considers an African-American owner as one of its largest landholders, square footage wise. And that's to be applauded because of the collaboration and partnership. And I could not be, I'd be remiss if I could not acknowledge the significance of that event. As we continue to press forward though, I want to acknowledge also the importance of this collaboration and partnership, and GMF, they did the thing as well. This $100 million investment is a heavy lift, and it's a commitment to the city of Milwaukee. And Greater Milwaukee Foundation said, you know what, we want to step up. We want to do something that we traditionally have not done. We want to color outside of the box with you, Kevin. And we want to commit a $10 million, we'll make a $10 million investment because we believe in you, we believe in this project, and we believe everything that the ThriveOn Collaboration stands for. So publicly, and again, I want to thank the board of directors of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, its leadership for organizing that effort and taking it one step further for the city of Milwaukee. So now we want to transition to something that is you know, a little fluid for me in terms of it's coming together and it's natural for us all, and that's something called construction. We've always shied away from this discussion of construction because we all know that this project is not about the bricks and mortar. It's not about the four walls. It's about the efforts that goes on in between those four walls. And so now we're transitioning, and today we're talking more about construction and what does that mean and how do we get there and who's going to be involved in all those kind of objectives. So we're going to walk and chew gum, and today we're going to be highlighting the fact that we are not leaving anybody behind per se. This is the opportunity to get further involved in the engagement strategy on the front end because things are going to move very, very quickly. So you're going to hear announcements about job fairs. You're going to hear us talk specifically about working with the Alderwoman and the Office of Small Business Development around residential preference, the residential preference program, and ways that we can get the unemployed folks in the neighborhoods and other involved with this particular project. You're going to hear us talk about ways that we can build and do capacity building with some of our local small businesses. So I want everyone to take the time and make sure that you're reaching out to the leaders speaking today, particularly Royal Capital, that you're engaged, because we're going to need you all to help us press forward on this construction opportunity that's going to be significant for our community. It's going to help us generate wealth for small businesses, and it's going to hopefully build capacity where folks can continue to develop a great quality of living as we continue to kind of build toward the thriving Milwaukee. Next up, as we kind of talk about the importance of not only the bricks and mortar, but we kind of transition, not transition, we continue to talk about the social determinants of health, the health disparities, whether it's hypertension, diabetes, COVID. We continue to be collaborative in that effort. And with that, I want to bring up a good friend of mine, Ken Robertson. Ken is going to share with you all some commitments and some announcements, and then we're going to transition to some other key leaders on our team, and we're going to hopefully share some news and some exciting news for you all that you can take back with you. Ken Robertson.
Thanks so much, Kevin. I really appreciate, both your professional commitment and your personal commitment. You've been with us, walked alongside of us all along the way, and I really value your partnership. This really is a very special time and place for all of us. Time because we've just honored the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, and in just a few days, we'll start our celebration of Black History Month. A place because the location of this project it's not an accident. Building a ThriveOn Collaboration home between King Drive and Velar Phillips Avenue is a statement about our commitment and belief in our community, this community. As Kevin said, our commitment also extends to an investment in this development. At the end of 2020, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation made a $10 million impact investment, which demonstrates the foundation's long-term stake, our long-term commitment in this project. Lots more work to do, and that's just one small step, but it's a start toward reversing historic disinvestment in our neighborhood. Having said all that about this project, the heart of this project is really about community. Our North Star has been and will continue to be about our residents' voice and community leadership. One major way our community is participating in this project is through a dedicated community advisory council. I'd like to recognize the work of the talented CAC members involved who represent Halyard Park, Harambe, Brewers Hill, and their respective neighbors. Recently, this council recommended $30,000 in grants to support opportunities for youth. Those are opportunities that the council identified and prioritized. As a result, the ThriveOn Collaboration issued its first grants to 4 organizations doing that work. Thank you to the CAC. Now I'd like to introduce Dowry Blackwell to tell you a little bit more about her experiences with the council. Dowry?
Good afternoon. I'm going to attempt to get my camera working. I had some technical difficulties earlier. So if you can just bear with me for a moment so that I can get my camera to show my face, I would appreciate that. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here with everyone today. As Kim mentioned, I am a member of the Community Advisory Council. When Brigitta approached me in last August, and asked if I would be a member of the council, I was honored. I'm a member of the council, and I decided to join this amazing team because I care about where I live, what happens here and doesn't happen here. It's that simple. I grew up on 25th and Center. I attended the UW Milwaukee. I knew from an early age that I would reside in one of Milwaukee's historic neighborhoods. My community and the surrounding neighborhoods have a rich history and many assets. It's exciting to witness the ongoing transformation of the Harambe neighborhood and all that's going around it, and I'm so glad to be a part of its rich legacy. As a CAT member, I wish to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of the members, and you saw all of their beautiful faces earlier, for attending this historical construction commencement and for all of your commitment your energy, your time, your resources that you give unselfishly to our collective work. My experiences serving as a member on the council has been great. It's been very time consuming, I must admit, but every minute is worth it. And I would like to share also during our Zoom calls that we have been having, the vibe is just amazing. There's unity in every meeting. We know that nothing warms the heart more, especially during these times, than laughter. And Bridgetta helps us laugh a lot. The work of the council is exciting and vital to the overall success of the ThriveOn Collaboration. And I think that I can speak on behalf of the council in saying that we do take our responsibility very seriously. One of the first tasks that we took on as the council last fall, as Ken mentioned, was to review and select the proposals that were submitted to us. And it was very evident the need for services and programs. So we agreed that our centered focus should be on youth engagement and services. As Ken mentioned, we funded 4 proposals designed to support youth employment training and community-based activities to encourage youth social connectiveness, promote peace, and build community cohesive in the Harambe, Taylor Park, and Brewers Hill neighborhoods. My husband and I raised our 2 children here, and we witnessed firsthand the need for more youth services. So it's not surprising that the ThriveOn Collaboration selected as its focus for youth-led projects. I believe that a vibrant community is seen through the eyes of a child and through hearts of those who give and who serve. We received so many great proposals and ideas, and so on behalf of the council, I would like to thank every individual and every organization who took out time to submit their grants and proposals. So in closing, I want to take our attention to our hope in the future. Magic Johnson once said, all kids need is a little help, a little hope, and somebody who believes in them. So at this time, I want to invite you to take a few minutes to turn inward and to think about and to share with all of us your greatest hope for 2021. We will use what you put in the chat box for our future time capsule. So we're going to take a few minutes to do that. And then I would like to introduce Greg Wesley, who is with the Medical College of Wisconsin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Blackwell, Ken, and Kevin. I want to also thank all of the Community Advisory Council members for your leadership and dedication. Having the community voice as a part of the ThriveOn Collaboration is essential to our work, and we will make sure that you are part of the process throughout. This is a generational commitment by the Greater Milwaukee Foundation and MCW with our partner Rural Capital to try to improve the health outcomes and health equity in our community. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the challenges of the pandemic and the impact that it has had upon our community and particularly communities of color. We hope that today's event will bring some inspiration and aspiration for you and others. Our collaboration is really focused on addressing social determinants of health and racial equity and inclusion. Specifically, we will focus on early childhood education, health and wellness, which also includes focusing on food access and food insecurity issues, creating a deeper social connection also known as social cohesion and community building. We'll also have a focus on housing and the impact that housing has on health, and then also creating economic opportunity within our community as it relates to an example being the investment that both MCW and GMF have made with Rural Capital. You know, I want to acknowledge that the weather is not that great today. And there's one benefit of having Zoom today, which is the fact that we can be together with this milestone event, even though the weather outside is not that great. So technology in some instances can have an impact in a positive way, which allows us to be together. With that said, I'm going to ask that Kevin and Ken join me. At this time, we have a very, very, very special announcement to share, and you're the first to hear it. Kevin, can you take it from here, please?
There we go. Hi, Greg.
Well, fellas, we made it.
Kevin, it's on you.
I thought you were going first with your line.
I did. I said we have a special announcement to share. They're the
Okay,
first to
I didn't
hear
hear
it.
it.
And
I'm
now
sorry.
you're
Can you
next.
do that one more time for me, Greg? We're going to do this over.
Sure, I'll do it again, Kevin. Only for you, though. At this time,
Okay.
we have a very special announcement to share, and everyone on this video and in technology can hear us. You're the first to be able to hear what we have to share with the community.
Absolutely, Greg. A project this special deserves a name of its own that honors place in addition to partnership.
So on behalf of the ThriveOn Collaboration, that from this day forward, the former Gimbels-Schuster's building and campus will be known as
ThriveOn King.
How exciting. Good afternoon. I'm Ellie Gilligan. I'm president and CEO of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. What a name. This name strikes such a perfect chord as John and Ken and Greg have said, and Evan have said, you know, not only does this honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and the historic nature of being on King Drive, but it is important that it was chosen by resident voice and participation. This is central to our work together. And of course, the name is just the beginning. Despite having one of the most challenging years in our history, we've made great progress toward our goal, and real transformation is just around the corner. The thought of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation moving into our new home gives me and our entire team such joy. We have never believed more deeply that home is where the heart is. Our heart is on Martin Luther King Drive at ThriveOn. And the most significant impact is yet to come. ThriveOn King is aligned with the Greater Milwaukee Foundation's strategic vision of a Milwaukee for all. And it reflects two of the pillars of our strategy: recentering communities and reimagining philanthropy and the impact that philanthropy can have. This commitment to people and place is built to last. And now I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. John Rain, President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. And as I introduce John, I just want to thank him for his vision and commitment to this project and collaboration from the inception of our discussions. And I also want to take a moment to thank Dr. Raymond for his focus on equity and transparency and sharing information as our community weathers this pandemic. So Dr. Raymond?
Thanks so much, Ellen. And it is an honor to work with you and Royal Capital Group and all of our great friends in the 3 neighborhoods that juxtapose this wonderful initiative. I'd like to reflect a little bit on the significance of the ThriveOn King name. As you know, it was created through a consistent and collaborative neighborhood process with input from many different voices over several years. And we believe that this ThriveOn King name honors the spirit of its special location between King Drive and Bell Phillips Avenue, 2 remarkable leaders. And it pays homage to the history and legacy of all of those who brought pride and vibrancy to this community for generations. I want to make sure everyone knows, though, it's the people that make this a special place. Both the people of Halyard Park, Harambee, and Brewers Hill, and those of the Medical College of Wisconsin, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and Royal Capital Group. Now, I'm pleased to announce to you, and you're the first to hear, that we've achieved the funding threshold, our goal, to endow Dr. Leonard Agetti's endowed chair. That's Dr. Agetti. I've known Leonard for decades, and he is one of the most dynamic leaders in the country, one of the world's most preeminent experts in how to deal with the social determinants of health, really how to partner well with people that are disproportionately impacted by racism and health inequities. So he's one of the people I respect the most. So this is personally extremely meaningful for me. Now, awarding an inaugural chair, the title is the Milwaukee Community Chair in Health Equity Research. Now, Dr. Agetti's research focuses on our community, and the initiative really was spearheaded to raise funds from the community for a $2 million endowed chair. And this endowed chair is the most significant form of recognition that any academic institution can bestow on its best, brightest, and most impactful faculty. This chair represents the inaugural philanthropic priority for our ThriveOn Collaboration and a vital milestone to our overall goal of $5 million. And the priority is crucial to support our long-term vision of the overall goal to close the health equity gaps across our community for working and addressing the social determinants of health to reduce and eliminate the underlying causes of health disparities. Dr. Agetti's work also is critical to reduce the burden of chronic disease in our community. Now, Leonard and his team are developing implementation processes to address barriers to healthcare and health and to meet the critical needs of high-risk communities of color. And their goal is to eliminate disparities through community engagement, research, which is collaborative, education, which is bidirectional, and direct investment in the community. Now, the important effort to raise $2 million was achieved in a very short period of time, just a few months, and it was led by Black and African American donors, leaders, and volunteers from the Milwaukee community, and was supported by a collaborative effort from all 3 institutions, Royal Capital Group, Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and the Medical College of Wisconsin. And in particular, I want to thank Corey Nettles and Jackie Hurd Barber, who are community leaders and board members, both for the Greater Milwaukee Foundation and the Medical College of Wisconsin, who led this initiative on behalf of ThriveOn. I also want to thank the Greater Milwaukee Foundation and Kevin Newell and Royal Capital Group for personally investing in this endowed chair. And then finally, in addition, I want to thank Herb Cole Philanthropies for providing a lead gift of $1 million. So with that, I just want to say with humility and great honor how pleased I am that we've recognized the importance of the work that Dr. Agetti's doing, this partnership that we're working so hard to build trust in, and to transform all these efforts into something meaningful for the community. And with that, I'd like to turn that over to our distinguished Alderwoman, Mullaly Coggs. Excuse me, Mullaly, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon. I am Alderwoman Mullaly A. Coggs, and I am pleased to join you this afternoon on such a great day, a day where we are welcoming ThriveOn King to Martin Luther King Drive. I want to say thank you very specifically to MCW, GMF, RCG, and all of the community leaders who have helped to get this project to this point. We have seen over the last year, not only in the city of Milwaukee, but throughout this nation, the issues of social justice, equity, and inclusion brought to the forefront. And we recognize while there are several things that need to be done in order to improve the quality of life of people in our community, one of the things that cannot be ignored throughout this all is the health disparities. And although we can try to offer as much medical assistance as possible, getting to the root of what the causal issues are, those social determinants of health, is a task in itself. And it is a task that MCW and GMF have chosen to use this project of ThriveOn to attempt to address. And I applaud the effort, the investment, and the collaborative nature of what is being developed through ThriveOn, because, you know, when we first took the tours of the area, when they were considering what neighborhood to go in, and we spoke about the history, the involvement of neighbors, and just what this area truly means, I am pleased to see and how anyone trying to come to this area to build anything, you know, needed to work cooperatively with residents who have a very clear sense of, you know, what's needed, what improvements can be made, and their willingness to help in that effort. It was taken seriously. And over the last several months, the level of conversation, discussion, involvement, and engagement of residents who live right here in this neighborhood, in these neighborhoods, Brewers Hill, Harambe, and Halyard Park, have had the opportunity to be thoroughly engaged. And because of that, I think it only strengthens the ThriveOn effort. And as we sit the week after we've celebrated nationally Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, this year, one of the local people that celebrated, the theme was from Dr. Martin Luther King's speech. And it was a part saying, you know, keep moving forward. I believe that through the efforts of MCW, GMF, in collaboration with community leaders, ThriveOn King will serve as a shining example, not just here locally, but nationally, of what those who say they want to do something to help with inclusion and equity, say they want to do something to help improve health outcomes for those in need, an example that they can look to try to replicate. I look forward to the day that we can say that this effort has had impact with turning around of those disparities. So ThriveOn King, thank you.
Thank you, Alder Coggs. You know, we are super excited to be in the 6th District. We understand that, you know, this entire process needs great leadership, and we are extremely positive and extremely grateful about all the contributions that you've led with thus far. And so we want to take some time to let you know that we understand that this cannot get done without you. The way that you can be people, the way you provide us support, the way you provide us that tacit knowledge to allow us to really advance opportunities for the community. We want to publicly thank you for that because it's so valuable. It's so valuable. Now I want to take some time to invite you all to watch a video that kind of walks us through this historic building and what it's been and what it is, and just before we kind of get into its new life. So without further ado, we'd like to go ahead and run that tape. Well, folks, it's an exciting day. We made it. After a lot of engagement, a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, I'm excited to press forward on this project. And more importantly, welcome you all home.
Thanks, Kevin. Super excited to be here. I mean, it's a little bit of a fixer-upper. We got a little work to do, but I'm excited about the progress that we've made. I'm most excited to be able to invite our community in the front door and our employees so we can get the work really started.
I'm reflecting on the work that we've done to involve community, to make sure that we can be great neighbors. We look forward to being a good partner with you. You know, deeply, deeply excited about this being a vital hub for health, education, and equity for our community. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. I'm absolutely honored to be a part of this transformational project in this community, and excited to be here to show everyone this beautiful historic building. Let's go check it out. Okay, so this is the original entry of the building when it was first built in 1907, and it was the Schuster's Gimbels building, retail center. A lot of this area here was all display cases, so what you're seeing as wood was actually a lot of glass, so that you could see not only 3rd Street, which is now MLK, but you could see all of the wares that they were displaying for sale along the whole outside and perimeter of the building. No light is coming in, but that's all going to change. If you can see above this entry, there are historic window frames and historic glass that we will be restoring to then start flooding again this space with more natural daylight. So as you can see, we're in the main space of the first floor, the main community gathering space. And the ceilings are high. They're almost 18 feet high. So right now we're in the 1907 portion of the building, the first part of this building that was built. 1914 addition happened further down there to the west. We're in the 1950s era of the building, and this is the main entry off of that. Again, this is MLK, 3rd Street, right off the street here. And this kind of mid-century modern aesthetic was really prevalent throughout the building. A lot of it went away, but this portion of it still exists. So we're going to try to restore that and maintain some of that historic architecture in the building. So again, continuing that historic modern architecture, we see this nice curved mezzanine. And this is one of 2 mezzanines on the first floor in the main community gathering space that could be utilized for different programming. This side of the building was built in 1914. So a lot of the railing detail, the old terrazzo steps coming up to this mezzanine, it's just really beautiful architectural design that we're going to maintain when this building opens up again. We're going to go to the alley.
I love the architectural elements that have survived in this location. It's very distinguishable, not something you would see in traditional bricks and mortar today. It's got a uniqueness to it that really is inspiring. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do with it next.
Okay, so this is the main bank of elevators that service all floors of the building. As you can see, it's got some really cool architectural details, not only the doors themselves, but the call lights above. And we're putting new elevators in 2 of these locations, but a lot of the architectural detailing is going to remain.
So Tom, will this be restored?
Yeah, all the historic old wood windows will be restored. And even here where you can see some wood up above the glass here, that is also glass. So it's almost floor to ceiling windows to really just let, again, more natural light into this space.
All the way around?
All the way around.
That's going to be special.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here on the 4th floor, and this is just a really good example of what most of the other floors look like. Expansive space, beautiful historic glass windows, and look at all of the space that we have.
this will be a community gym for many, many years to come.
That was awesome. Got me firing up a little bit. Even though I was in the video, I really was excited about seeing this. It was the first time seeing it. So I want to take this time also now as we kind of conclude to thank all the sponsors, thank all the leaders and so forth, but also want to take some time to remind, to acknowledge some of our teammates who have done an amazing job of allowing us to just show up at times as they kind of give us direction. And be the engine behind organizing these type of events. And that's the entire communications team, from Holly and Laura and their teammates and colleagues to Charlotte and Athena Morgan partnership with Tammy Belton Davis and Michael Morgan. So I'm super, super thrilled to be working alongside you all. And again, sometimes allowing us to show up with telling us where to go as we all kind of work collaboratively together. I want to remind you all again, to please stay tuned. Continue to allow us to engage you all. I know time is very limited and that we all have a lot of things to do, but I want to re-acknowledge, I guess you would say, our commitment to making sure that this $100 million investment, that this dollar is actually circulating in our community. And in order to do that, we're going to need your help. We're going to need you to participate in these job fairs. We're going to need you to bring your ideas. We're going to need you to acknowledge and recommend small businesses that can be a part of this transformational opportunity. We want to build wealth in this community. So I want to again ask you all to please stay engaged as we transition to focus on real estate and construction. And without further ado, I want to thank you all for your time. So thank you, and I will lend you the rest of this time back for the rest of your afternoon.